To Be Here is the kind of song that I know it's been quoted, but I moved here, to write that kind of song. I didn't know that was the song I was going to be writing, but that's the kind of song that made me fall in love with country music. And, it just shows you if you're real and honest and open up to the fans and everybody, they're the same way. And I think it, obviously got to show a different side of me. Those of you that have talked to me, like, you may know that I have that side, but it's, you kind of get to tell your story through your songs, and that's something y'all know is very personal to me, and it's not just me, it's crazy to the stories, that I've heard, and the coolest thing to me is that, that people that for them to be thanking me for writing a song, that's not, I'm thanking them for listening to them and their stories, because, I'm finding out that a lot of my moments, like you said, Rob, are, based on my career right now. And I haven't even started the whole, my dad's not going to, be here for, if, one day I'm lucky enough to get married or have kids. And those are real life moments. And I just, getting to hear these stories it's helped me just as much as it's helped anybody else.
And then give us the home plate overview of the record.
Oh, man. I guess I'm kind of an impatient person, and I'm ready to get it, every song out there, because a few people have, heard a song here and there, but I'm ready for people to hear this whole album. I think everybody's wondering what's coming next because of my first single off of it. You Should Be Here. I want everybody to know it's not 12 You Should Be Here songs. That they all can't be like that. I think that's what makes that one so special. But there's fun stuff on this album that I think people remind them of the first album, the fun side of me, but then also not just dealing with loss, but, breakups and heartbreak, stuff like that, like Ain't Worth the Whiskey. There's some more songs like that are just, I cannot wait to play live. I can't wait to, me being a songwriter and proud of that, proud of the songs I write. There's 5 songs on this album that I did not write, that I wish I would have written. And when you work really hard to be able to say that your favorite writers are sending you songs now. And so I honestly know how hard that is to get songs, to write them. And, I think I've put together, I want to have 12 great songs of people, I want them to buy the album and not have to switch a song. So.
Well, hi.
Hey, how are you?
So I'm sure a lot of us have seen you're doing a duet with Dirks on this newest album.
Yeah.
So can you tell me how that all
Yeah,
started?
I can. It's a pretty cool story. Before I ever had my record deal, I just had a publishing deal over at Sony ATV, and I remember I had that title, Flatliner, and just the idea of a girl just stopping everybody's heart, just kind of a fun idea. And when we started writing it, I had Dirks in mind. I was like, man, this feels like this could be a Dirks Bentley song. So we just kind of wrote it like, let's send this one to Dirks when we get done. We didn't even have a good contact for Dirks at the time. It was just, so I don't even think he ever actually heard it, but we had him in mind writing it. And a couple years later, after I did get my record deal, I sent him a copy of the song because we'd been talking about it. He's like, well, let me hear it. And I sent it to him, and he's like, dude, this is a smash. And so I told him, I was like, well, maybe we can sing it together one day, kidding. And we kind of joked around about that when we'd see each other for a year or so. And sure enough, when it came around, we contacted his people, and he was willing to do it. And it's pretty crazy that at the time, all I was doing was trying to get people to record songs I was writing. I wrote it for Dirks, and then years down the road, he's singing it with me on my second album. It just shows you I've stopped questioning things and how things work. You work hard and let your team take care of the rest, because it ended up right where it was supposed to. I think I might need it a little worse than he does. So I'm glad it's going on my album, but who knows? We'll hopefully get to perform it one day together. We'll see.
And I saw that you wrote a song with the guys at Florida Georgia Line,
Yep.
Kane and Smith.
Mhm.
So can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, that's a great, and I wrote Party Wasn't Over is the name of that one, and I wrote it, it might have been before my first album ever came out, and it was another one of those kind of, they just thought that it was mine, like, I was going to record it. And it's kind of tough when you're writing with other artists, but then again, that's what's cool about it. Kanan and both of the Florida Georgia Line guys, they're all great writers, and we just, had fun in the room. And I kind of told them that, everybody on my team loved it, I loved it, and that's just, out of all the songs I've written and all that we got sent, it still made, it was still a lot of people's favorites. So it's on the album, and I think that's awesome that, a lot of the artists are, writing together, doing whatever. It doesn't matter if Kanan records it, FGL or me. I mean, somebody. The fact that we get to get our music out is pretty awesome, and the fact I'm going out on tour with Florida Georgia Line it's coming up real soon, right when the album comes out. I didn't plan that, but that's pretty awesome that we get to start a brand new tour, and I get to play these brand new songs. That's where my band is right now, is practicing all these new songs on the album. So we've been playing the other ones. We get to play 4 #1 singles off the first album, thanks to all the support. So it's going to be a fun year.
Well, you first kind of got your success as a writer, and then the artist thing happened for you. So, as an artist now, does that change kind of your approach to songwriting at all, or is it kind of the same?
It's that's tough. I don't. At the time, that's what I had a schedule every day. I was writing songs with somebody every day, and now you get so wrapped up in the artist thing, the things you have to do, and it's mentally, you have to be, I feel like, in the mood. You can't ever force it, and I think, I do look at it differently, though. Back then, I think getting an artist, getting a record deal made, doesn't mess you up, but I think the way you think, you're not trying to write a song for Jason Aldean or for Dierks Bentley anymore. You're trying to write the best songs for you, but I think you have to keep the mindset of just write a great song. Like, that's what I'm trying to do now. I know that I may write a great song, but it may not be for me. I may not be ready to say something like that, but if one of my friends in the business is, then, it's better than the song never being heard. So I think you just got to go into it wanting to write the best song you can, but it does. It messes it up, like overthinking things, and I don't know if I want to say that. And it's crazy how, your headspace, it changes. But that's why I have 5 songs on this album I did not write, that I've worked hard to get. And I've some of these people's favorite songs on the album are songs I don't write, and I'm like, I love that, because those are just songs that I'm lucky enough to record. I wish I had written them, but I didn't, and I'm proud to talk about the songwriters that wrote them, because I know how that is to be in that position, and I'm glad that me and the songwriter community, we're still tight. So.
You've been announced as a performer for the ACC Awards. So kind of talk about your headspace going into an award show performance. You recently performed on ACM.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The ACM performance kind of came late, and it was, thank my team so much for getting that for me. That was a big deal, big song, the #1 song in the country at the time, and getting to do that, and that's another thing of things just work out how they're supposed to. I don't know that it would have been as powerful had it been the whole band and not just acoustic with me up there wondering how I'm going to get through that, But, this one will be the whole band, and it'll be the whole performance. It's going to be, the first time me actually singing this whole song, not trying to jam everything into a time slot. So it's, anytime you can be in front of folks on TV, it's a huge deal, and I'm honored to be in the list of performers. I've seen the list, and it's crazy that I'm starting to see my name on those lists now, and thanks to a song like that, thanks to everybody that has listened to it and spread the word. It's crazy what a song can do, and I think you should be here's another one that's just taking me to the next step to where I want to be.
Well, you recently made your debut on the Grand Ole Opry. What was that moment like for you? And was that like a dream come true?
Yeah, it was the debut. I debuted You Should Be Here. There, I played it. That was actually my second time, but it's been like 2 years before that. So the feeling never gets old, man. Walking in there and just I don't know what it is. I think it's just being in a place that's so much history, and a place where you don't feel like you even deserve to walk in there, because there's just legends that have been made there, and country music, it means so much to country music and the history, the community, that the Opry will always be special. But for me being up there, especially talking about the single You Should Be Here, getting to sing that on the Opry, I mean, that's the kind of song you dream about getting to sing on the Opry stage. And like I said, the circumstances, I don't like those, but I know my dad would be, I know he was smiling down that night, and just to see the reaction, I mean, I guarantee you he's in disbelief that music is this powerful and just how much it can do. But the Opry is always going to be special, and I'm honored every time I get to play it. I haven't done it enough. I hope I get to go back soon.
And you're touring with Florida Georgia Line. Do you think you're going to be able to write some songs with those guys? Because I know you have before.
Oh yeah, man. Me and Florida Georgia Line, Cadillac 3 is also out there. So Jaron, which all you know, he's written about every song on the chart. It's him and Ashley Gorley. But Jaron is also a great writer. So with the FGL guys and us, I'm planning on it, man. You can't ever start too soon, I don't think, because you start seeing the time slip away and you're coming up, and I don't want to ever be without songs. My first album, I had 3 years of just writing songs to pick from, and then it kind of narrows down, and I'm, picking from that. So hopefully we're going to get started on, songs for me and all them too. I think you just, like I said earlier, try to write the best song. We actually, a funny story right quick about FGL and Jaron. Not this past, but the Halloween before that, we were playing down in Jacksonville for the Georgia-Florida thing. And I'm from not too far outside of Jacksonville. I'm from Georgia, obviously, but had some family, friends coming, and BK from FGL texted me and said, hey, me and Tyler, let's write when Jaron gets in town. And I was like, man, I can't. I got visitors here today. And he wrote me back. He said, yeah, I hate hearing my songs on the radio too, just being and I could not turn that down, so I had to cancel my plans with family and friends, and we actually wrote a song called Summer Forever that ended up Billy Currington's title track of his last album. So that's another lesson I learned. You got to show up to write a song. You can't just say, oh, I got this to do, because you never know what you're about to get into.
Well, you set up my question perfectly by saying, you had 3 years for the first record, not as much for this one. But describe the atmosphere on recording this second record as contrasted to that first. Being in the studio again with those same people.
Yeah. It's crazy that, the same guys, a lot of, I think one may be different, but other than that, they've been, since before I had a record deal. That's kind of what started the whole production thing. Michael Carter had never produced. Me and him had written a bunch of songs, and he was in charge of kind of getting the band. And by the time we had written Roller Coaster for Luke, we had kind of found that demo. I remember we just wanted Luke to hear that because of just the way it sounded, production, my voice, and he ended up recording the song. But that is how all that kind of started, man. And now, this second album, being in that studio, I feel obviously I was more comfortable. I'd been in there. I kind of, luckily we knew the songs we wanted, and a lot of them, they turned out better than I could have dreamed of. But some of them, you're just wondering how it's going to be in there, and they ended up, letting Michael just take control of it, talk to the band, because that's not really. I know what I like. That's what, as an artist, I can say I love that. Whatever he just did, I can't spell it or pronounce it. I love that. But. That, and so having Michael there to kind of be able to talk to the band and tell them what we're, him being around me since the merchandise days. I mean, we just know it without having to say it to each other. And I appreciate Warner and everybody allowing me to, make music with him, somebody that I'm comfortable with. I think that makes a big difference when you're comfortable with your producer. You're not recording songs that just because he likes them and you're scared to say something. Me and him are close, and we disagree on things, but we have an awesome team, and I think that's what, we're just there to give our opinions. So this second album, it's like I said, my favorite part, I think, is having these outside songs I did not write, the opportunity, because I know what a big deal that is. So.